The diagram represents one way an enzyme can be inhibited. So we've got a substrate labeled, an enzyme labeled, and an enzyme inhibitor labeled. Which statement explains the effect of an inhibitor on an enzyme? So let's highlight some important information. We have a substrate, we have an enzyme, we have an inhibitor. And in the question, it's saying which statement explains the effect of an inhibitor on an enzyme. So it's wanting us to figure out this inhibitor that we see up here, the effect that it has on our enzyme. What does it do to our enzyme? How does it impact it? Okay, so just looking at the picture, even if you don't remember what the word inhibit or inhibitor means, we should be able to figure it out from this picture. When we look at the enzyme inhibitor, we can see that it is right here in this space of the enzyme. And we can see that the substrate, it looks like it's coming in, but then it has to leave. It's unable to attach into the enzyme. So one way to think about an inhibitor is that it blocks the substrate from being able to work. So a couple of important things to remember about these images that we see. This space right here on the enzyme where the substrate should fit is called the active site. So a substrate normally will fit into that active site of the enzyme. A chemical reaction will take place and the substrate will either be broken down or built depending on what the substrate is. When the inhibitor sits in that active site, it blocks the substrate from being able to fit, so the reaction cannot take place. So we want to find which answer choice most correctly says what we've just seen in this picture. So let's go through each one. A substrate will be able to bond with the enzyme. Well, normally that is what can happen. But when we have an inhibitor, the substrate will not be able to bond with the enzyme. And A says it can, so that is not correct. B, the enzyme will likely be attacked by immune cells. Okay, this one just isn't a true statement. Inhibitors don't have any impact on how our immune cells work. C, the enzyme will be unable to produce more enzymes. Okay, remember that the enzyme's job isn't necessarily to make more enzymes. Its job is to do something to the substrate. So that's not true. D, a substrate will be unable to attach to the enzyme. Okay, if we look up at our picture, that's exactly what we see. D is showing that substrate can no longer attach to our enzyme because the inhibitor is blocking it. So D is correct.